The history of computing is a fascinating journey that spans thousands of years. From ancient counting tools to futuristic quantum computers, we humans have always marveled at their abilities. So let us browse the history of computing. But first, ram the like and subscribe button so you can return to see our new videos. Computing started with the advent of electronics and circuit boards, right? Well, no, not really. One of the earliest known tools for computation used in ancient Mesopotamia, China and Greece, was the abacus. It could perform basic mathematic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. It was probably the world's most advanced device for a few centuries until the mechanical Antikythera machine and pieces like it. The Antikythera mechanism was an ancient Greek device, often called the world's first analog computer, used to predict astronomical events like eclipses, planetary positions, and the phases of the moon, essentially acting as a complex astronomical calculator by tracking the movements of celestial bodies with a system of gears and dials. It could even calculate the cycle of the ancient Olympic Games based on its timekeeping capabilities. It was found in a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera in 1901, but probably dates back to the 2nd century BC. Not much is known about its construction or whether it was unique or one of many such devices. The use of gears and cogs was taken to another level when mechanical clocks were invented in the 14th century. The first mechanical clocks were large iron devices that were installed in the towers of Italian cities. But the Salisbury Cathedral clock, which dates back to 1386, is considered one of the oldest functioning mechanical clocks in the world. It was used to wake monks for prayers at specific times, such as dawn, midnight, and before bed. The same period also saw the construction of complex mechanisms primarily intended not to tell the time, but to reproduce the motions of the heavenly bodies and the relations between them, similar to the Antikythera mechanism, but with many more functions. It could inform farmers as to when to plant crops, for instance. Later mechanical calculators were designed to complete math problems. Blaise Pascal created a mechanical calculator that could add and subtract in 1642, and German mathematician Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz created his stepped reckoner in 1673. The binary system of using 0 and 1 for arithmetic originated with Leibniz. He believed binary numbers were symbolic of the Christian idea of creation from nothing. And funnily enough, he did create something out of nothing. He created the very language that computers would use, even today. After these inventions, Charles Babbage created his difference engine. Babbage, known as the father of computing, was an English mathematician, philosopher, inventor, and mechanical engineer. His difference engine was a mechanical calculator designed to automate the creation of mathematical tables, which were crucial for navigation, engineering, and science. Using a system of gears and levers to carry out calculations mechanically, it performed complex polynomial calculations using the method of finite differences, eliminating the need for multiplication and division machines. Though Babbage never completed a full version, a working model was built by the London Science Museum in 1991, based on his designs, proving that his invention worked as intended. Babbage then designed his analytical engine in 1837. It was the first design for a machine that could perform any computation, making it the first true concept of a computer. It included several key components found in modern computers, like the arithmetic logic unit, or mill. It could perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division automatically, which makes it an equivalent to the CPU in modern computers. The analytical engine was designed to be programmable and capable of performing complex mathematical calculations automatically. It has been deemed the first programmable computer, but who was the first programmer? Ada Lovelace, born in 1815 to the writer Lord Byron and his wife, was an English mathematician and writer. Best known for her work on Charles Babbage's analytical engine. She is often credited as the first computer programmer because she wrote the first algorithm intended to be executed by a machine. In 1842, she translated a paper by Italian mathematician Luigi Federico Menabrea about Babbage's analytical engine. She added extensive notes, 3 times longer than the original paper, explaining how the machine could go beyond simple calculations to perform general-purpose computing. She then wrote detailed instructions for the analytical engine to compute Bernoulli numbers, making it the first published algorithm designed for a computer. Bernoulli numbers are a sequence of rational numbers that appear frequently in number theory, calculus, and mathematical analysis. They play a crucial role in many areas of mathematics and computer science. So having a machine that could calculate them and also use those numbers granted both mathematicians and programmers a huge advantage. While Babbage saw his machines as calculators, Lovelace foresaw computers becoming general-purpose machines capable of handling symbols, music, and more. She described the idea of computers manipulating data beyond just numbers, an early vision of modern computing. She was truly a remarkable lady who was not lauded enough during her time. She is now held up as one of the key originators in computing. We could call her the mother of computers, a lady who gave us a gift that created the modern age. Once the algorithms and programming for computing were created, more machines were then produced that used them to perform complex tasks, like the tabulating machines that punch cards for data processing in the U.S. Census, the first of which were invented by Herman Hollerith in the 1880s. Hollerith's machines could process data by punching cards to record personal information about a person. A tabulator then read the cards and added up the information, while a sorting box sorted the cards for further analysis. These devices marked the beginning of the era of mechanized binary code and semi-automatic data processing systems. His inventions formed the starting point of a company that would become IBM. As you may know, war often accelerates scientific advancements, and the Second World War, while being a terrible waste of human life, did provide us with a lot of new technology. Starting with Konrad Zus's Z3, the first programmable, fully automatic digital computer. It was used by the German Aircraft Research Institute to perform statistical analyses of wing flutter. Then in 1944, the British created Colossus, developed by British cryptographers to help break German secret codes. The men and women at Bletchley Park created a machine that could compute sums and equations using algorithms. It processed 5,000 characters per second, significantly accelerating codebreaking, which helped crack the German Enigma cipher, which was used by the Nazis to encode military communications. The project was headed by one Alan Turing, another great mind in the world of computing. Turing was a British mathematician and logician whose work laid the foundations for modern computer science and artificial intelligence. His paper on computable numbers introduced the concept of a theoretical machine, now called the Turing machine, that could solve problems by following a set of instructions or algorithms. This idea became the basis for modern computers. He also came up with the Turing test in his paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence. It proposed an assessment for future AI that could only be passed if the computer program could pass itself off a human. His impact on computing was huge, but unfortunately, he was hounded by the establishment as a result of his homosexuality. His top-secret access was revoked. He was accused of gross indecency after having a relationship with another man and was then chemically castrated. His treatment was indefensible and ultimately led to his suicide. Who knows what great advances we lost when we lost Alan Turing? The post-war era saw the use of vacuum tubes for the first time. They were a vital part of early radios, televisions, and computers. They amplified weak electrical signals by controlling the flow of electrons in a vacuum. But very quickly, these tubes were replaced with transistors, making computers smaller, faster, and more reliable. At this point, we reached the 1970s and the advent of the digital age. The first machines that we would recognize today as computers were designed in this era, including the first Apple and Intel computers. This era of digitalization came as a result of two new inventions: the integrated circuit board and microprocessors. A microprocessor is the computer's central processing unit, CPU, that's built into a single chip. It's responsible for carrying out a computer's arithmetic, logic, and control functions. So what was once a device that needed cogs and gears to perform simple sums grew into giant, room-sized devices that could perform mathematical tasks and use algorithms, eventually became a tiny chip, something that can fit in the palm of your hand and contains more computing power than all of the NASA computers that helped man land on the moon. In the future, we may use quantum computers and AI for our computing needs. The speed of technological advance is increasing every year, and who knows, maybe one day we will give up our human bodies and load our brains into these machines? Or maybe the machines will take over and see us as little more than dumb animals. This all remains to be seen. All I can say is that I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords